And we're joined now by Tea Party News Network's Scottie Nell Hughes, who's on the telephone from New York City. Scottie Nell, a lot of people talking about this. Give us your 2 cents worth. Why did Eric Cantor, the majority leader, fail to win a majority of voters last night in the Republican primary in Virginia 7?
Well, say it with me, JD. Immigration. Real simple words. Now, there's other issues like spending, his votes to increase taxes, his votes to repeal the sequester. But when it came down to it, immigration. It showed that the conservative voters in the 7th District of Virginia did not like his policy, did not like him pushing it. And the rest of America, conservatives don't like it either. That's why, right there, Eric Cantor lost.
We will talk more about Dave Brat, but right now, Eric Cantor last night, obviously not planning to offer a concession speech, yet he had to, and we have for you now to listen to some of what Eric Cantor had to say in conceding the primary last night to David Brat.
Look, obviously we came up short. Serving as a 7th District congressman and then having the privilege to be majority leader has been one of the highest honors of my life. And we need to focus our efforts as conservatives, as Republicans, on putting forth our conservative solutions so that they can help solve the problems for so many working middle-class families. I know there's a lot of long faces here tonight, and it's disappointing, sure. But I believe in this country. I believe there's opportunity around the next corner for all of us. So I look forward to continuing to fight with all of you for the things that we believe in, for the conservative cause.
So there is Eric Cantor in defeat last night, and I would imagine that grassroots activists around the country, what this does for the Tea Party movement is, well, a shot in the arm, Scottie Nell.
You're correct. I always say that freedom is the best caffeine. And last night, the American people got to feel freedom. Now, I will say this about Cantor's speech. Coming up short, that's 1 or 2%. Coming up short is maybe what I'll even give bad talk from what he did in Mississippi, where he was just about 2 percentage points or 0.2 of a percentage point. That's short. We're talking 56% to 44%. Eric Cantor, that was not short. That was truly a message right there. Considering you spent 25 to 1 of David Brat, the people of that district realized that your votes have been educated, that your votes were anything but conservative. I love congressmen who get to office and say that they want to do all of these things that are conservative, but their actions speak louder than words. And that's what the Tea Party has done, is we have educated. We are trying to move. We are a movement trying to move people to know what the vote of their representation is in D.C. and not just what they're telling us on the campaign trail.
And it bears amplification. You talked about the final totals, 56% for Dave Brat, 44% for the incumbent. Understand that Dave Brat only 4 percentage points away from what we would call a landslide. That's what a landslide is, 60% of the popular vote. So certainly the voters who bothered to cast ballots yesterday in Virginia 7 overwhelmingly supported the newcomer. Now, we take a look around the country. As you are looking at different races, what do you think? Let me go to a neighboring state of Virginia, to Tennessee, for example, Scottie Nell. Joe Carr, a conservative who hopes to unseat Senator Lamar Alexander, said the following, and I quote, "What we have seen tonight in Virginia shows that no race should be taken for granted, and all the money and position in the world doesn't resonate with an electorate that's fed up with a Washington establishment that has abandoned conservative principles." Scottie Nell, you call Tennessee home. Does Joe Carr have the ability to pull the same surprise on Senator Alexander that Dave Brat pulled on Congressman Cantor last night?
He does, and that's the great thing about our movement. We literally thrive on momentum. We're going to watch the McDaniel race in Mississippi. If McDaniel's able to pull off in his primary, in his runoff, and he wins, it's even going to put more pressure on Tennessee. Here is the difference, though. Lamar Alexander has been in office. He has been in some form of government since literally the 1970s. In fact, the majority of people in government today have some sort of allegiance. I call them Lamartians. That's a little bit different from what we saw in Virginia, where it was just a congressman and the authority that he had in that district. That being said, you cannot get more establishment than Lamar Alexander these days. And Joe Clark has a proven conservative track record, and it's all about the messaging, and it's all about educating Tennessee voters. It's not about the person who might have brought you out to the table. It's the person that's still keeping you at the table. And right now, this Republican leadership has done nothing to help provide food and help on the table, help put people back to work, and more importantly, has helped sit there and secure our borders and kept our jobs in America today.
Now, let's return to the internal politics of the House Republican Conference. You take a look at John Boehner, you criticize the leadership team overall. Here's what one leadership aide said about this Cantor loss impacting the speakership of John Boehner, and I quote, "Given the speculation, Boehner himself may decide not to run again for speaker. The idea had been out there that Cantor would simply walk into the speakership. But now, who the hell would be the next speaker?" So, Scottie, in a minute remaining, what do you expect? Will Boehner try to hang on in the next Congress if Republicans maintain the majority, or who do you think will be the next speaker?
He might try to hang on. I will say up to now, all that we had heard was that he was not going to run for leadership because he had been so weakened of his own primary that he just survived. Now we're going, okay, is he going, maybe he is going to have to stand up, because the last thing I can assure you that John Boehner wants is a good conservative like a Steve King, a Hulskamp, my dream of a Louis Gohmert being in the position as Speaker of the House. So I do believe that he might try, but the truth is this is a time for our House true conservatives, that House Tea Party caucus, to stand up, stand their ground, say, you know what, the American people believe in us more than they believe in you. They continue to show it. It's time that we give us a chance. Let the true voice of the American people, the American conservatives, be a part of the leadership and head up this leadership team. If we want to win in 2014 and 2016, that might be our only way, JD.
We'll have to leave it there. Scottie Nell Hughes of the Tea Party News Network, we thank you for your time and your insights on that surprising upset in Virginia 7. There's more to come.